Greetings, Internet, and welcome to another episode of A Comedy Musician Reacts. My name is Insane Ian. I am a comedy musician and comedy music fan, and on this show, I react to comedy music from the perspective of a comedy musician, because that's what I am, and that's what I do, and that's why it's called that. Things. Anyway, this week I am reacting to the lyric video for Now You Know, the song by Weird Al Yankovic that he wrote to accompany his biopic Weird, the Al Yankovic Story, which I've reacted to on this channel. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. Also, if you haven't seen the movie, maybe don't check out the reaction until after you've seen it, because it's kind of full of spoilers. But also, so is this song. This is the song from the end credits of the movie, and it kind of spoils things that happen in the movie a little bit. So, you know, if you're okay with having spoilers, there's your spoiler warning. But anyway, before we dive into that, I just want to say on this show I do pause the songs so that I can react properly. These are comedy songs. I don't want to talk over that and somehow miss jokes. So I tend to not do that. I tend to pause when I'm going to discuss something or talk about it or react from the perspective that I have as a comedy musician. And also, if you like that sort of thing, please do the thing that they do on YouTube, which is like, share, comment, subscribe, you know, all the things that get the eyeballs onto these videos to feed the algorithm to get more people to do that. And if you really want to help the channel out, consider supporting me on Patreon, where patrons get to see these videos early, get my music early, all sorts of other perks, exclusive reactions, and other things like that, all at patreon.com/insaneian. But all of that out of the way, we're going to dive into this song now. Full disclosure, I have heard the song before. I've seen the movie at least 3 times now, twice, and then when I was editing the reaction. So I've seen the movie, I've heard it in the end credits, I listened to the soundtrack when driving, oddly, to another acting gig I was doing, so I've heard the song a couple times, but it's been a couple weeks since I've heard it. I haven't heard the song again recently. So it's been a couple weeks. The movie came out November 4th. It is now the 21st when I'm recording this. So yes, it's been a bit. All of that said, I kind of already know the song, but we're diving into the lyric video, which I have not seen. I've not seen the lyric video. I don't expect too many gags in it. It's just a lyric video, but that said, yeah, here we go. Also, that pattern, I want Hawaiian shirts like that.
You thought you knew me? Well, you better guess again. Now you know the whole story. Now you've heard it all, my friend.
An appropriate way to start out a song from a subject who just had a biopic. It's a great biopic end song from the subject that the biopic is about. Hey, you thought you knew me? Guess you didn't know it. All the things that happened in this movie, you didn't expect those things. Doubly appropriate because Weird is a parody of biopics. It takes the tropes of many biopics, especially ones that were released recently, like Elvis and Bohemian Rhapsody and things of that nature, and kind of turns them on their head and points out the tropiness of things like, you know, coming from a sad childhood with abusive parents, or having their drinking and drug phases and whatnot. You know, things like that. Tropes.
You know all my dirty secrets? Oh, 'cause we spilled all the tea. There's nothing left to hide, baby. How you like the real me?
The real me. It's kind of a twist unintentionally there. Daniel Radcliffe was talking about being on set, and usually when you're on set they refer to you as your character name, saying Weird Al is coming to the set, because Daniel Radcliffe was playing Al. But Weird Al was also on set. So you say Weird Al's coming to set, which one do you mean? Do you mean Daniel Radcliffe as the character of Weird Al, or do you mean Weird Al himself? So they referred to Daniel Radcliffe as Weird Al, and they called Al Real Al. 40 years doing Weird Al stuff, and now he's just real Al. All right.
Yeah, the truth came out. We finally removed all doubt. If it's in a movie, it's gotta be true.
If it's in a movie, it's gotta be true. Yes, clearly this movie, they're driving home that this movie is 100% true. Also, I want this white nerdy print for a Hawaiian shirt. I'm sure there are going to be several different ones that are referencing Al songs in the background. I want them all. Give them all to me as Hawaiian shirts. That'd be great. By the way, little side thing. Roku Channel had a giveaway on Twitter where like you could enter to win these limited edition, only available through the giveaway, Weird Al Vans shoes. Vans are the type of skater shoe that Al has worn for years. Daniel Radcliffe wears the checkerboard ones in the movie, and I also tend to wear the checkerboard Vans all the time. Hero worship is a thing. And I won. I won a pair of the Weird Al shoes. They haven't arrived yet, and I'm thinking might possibly doing a box opening video of those. Maybe, we'll see. But they were only available through the giveaway, and I won a pair. I'm very excited. Also, I'm moving, so this is one of the last videos that's going to be in this room. I'm actually recording a couple of reactions in a row here, so this isn't the last one. But so for the next weeks, I'll be moving, but there'll still be reactions coming, but I'll probably be wearing the same shirt. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. If you never knew it before, you don't have to wonder anymore. Now you know. Now you know.
An Eat It shirt? Yes.
Thought I ought to tell you so. I should have done long ago, but now you know.
Now you know the truth.
Now you know. Yeah, that's how it all went down, bro.
Another song, the Like a Surgeon shirt? Yes. All of these. Give them to me.
We proof checked every fact. If you still don't believe it, well, no skin off my back.
I love Al's usage of slang and idioms in song lyrics. Like, anybody else can use slang and idioms in song lyrics. You know, it kind of dates the song sometimes about being from that era. But when Al does it, it always seems like it's out of nowhere, and yet Al also perfectly chosen for it. Like, you know, we spilled all the tea that he said a couple lines ago. Yeah, I mean, that's you know, would have been said a completely different way years ago. And no skin off my back, usually I hear it's no skin off my nose. And I maybe skin off my back is an expression, but also it's kind of an older expression. So having both of those things in the song, sure, it's an anytime thing. Great.
Just don't call me a liar. 'Cause shut up, you weren't there.
Just the instant, you can't call me a liar, you weren't there. And also just telling the audience immediately to shut up. Great. So funny.
This movie is now canon. Every word is true, I swear.
I swear.
We only changed one thing. I really did play Live Aid with Queen. And I blew on the freaking stage. That's right.
Also, a fat Hawaiian shirt. Great. So yeah, there's a sequence in the movie where John Deacon, the bass player for Queen, played by David Dastmalchian, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I could be wrong. I'm probably butchering it. I don't even try in the reaction to the movie. Suggests Al do a parody of another one, Bites the Dust by Queen. And Al does, of course, another one, Rides the Bus. And John Deacon invites Al to open for Queen at Live Aid, which never happened in the real world. Al never opened for Queen, and Queen, of course, had a huge concert at Live Aid. It's kind of one of the big moments in the Bohemian Rhapsody biopic. So here he says, no, I didn't turn them down. I actually opened for them and blew them off the stage. My show was way better than theirs was. That's the true story. The movie changed this. The movie says I turned him down with Dan Radcliffe as Weird Al going, hard pass. Great moment. Really, really damn funny. Also, I thought it was kind of weird that, like, of all the people in Queen, they got just John Deacon. They couldn't get Freddie Mercury or somebody to do a Freddie Mercury impression or anything. And then I found out later they asked if they could get Freddie Mercury, like somebody to play Freddie Mercury for it, and the estate turned him down. So they settled on doing John Deacon because A, it's funnier that like just a random member of Queen would be there. Brian May is a little slightly more well known because they do, you know, they're I think Brian May is a physicist also or something like that, like not just a guitar player but a physicist, whatever. I could be wrong. I'm sure you're all going to yell at me in the comments. But also, John Deacon wrote Another One Bites the Dust. He wrote that song. So having him be the one to suggest that actually is retroactively funny because of that, to me. And this is all stuff I found out after seeing the movie. That's why that's not in the movie reaction.
If you never knew it before, you don't have to wonder anymore, 'cause now you know.
Saga Begins shirt. Great.
Thought I ought to tell you so, I should have done it long ago, but now you know. Now you know.
I love the patterns. Oh, there's a Amish Paradise one. And the accordion one's great too.
Oh, what a wild ride. How about that part where I died? I was not expecting that.
No one was expecting that. Okay, big spoiler for the movie. Obviously, in the end of the film, Al gets shot. Like, here's the thing. Here's the thing that's genius about that, too, in the movie. They kind of telegraph Al's death throughout the movie, and I didn't really catch on to it until the scene where it was about to happen. The opening of the movie starts out with him on the table in the operating room after the car crash, and then it flashes back to before that, and then we get up to that point in the movie. And then there's another scene where he gets shot, but his medallion of his 5 platinum records deflects it. So they you know, he's dead on the table in the operating room, he's flatlined, and then he just suddenly springs back from it. So he dies like twice in the movie, like you think he's dead, and then he comes back, and so in this one he died again, and then he comes back again, kind of in a post-credit scene, kind of in an homage to like Living Dead movies. I think that's almost an homage to one of the Addams Family movies too. I think the Addams Family did that too. But yeah, it's him saying, "I was not expecting that," because we've known Al for years since, like they say, he got shot in 1985. So the version of Al that's been recording music since then has not been Al. The next line of the song is going to explain that, I realize that. But saying, how about that part that I died? I was not expecting that. Neither was anybody else up until the moment when it was happening.
But I'm back, baby. Here to wreak my
I love how they turned and they're green. So yes, sorry, I said that over the line there.
Here to wreak my zombie apocalypse upon you all.
So now he's saying that in 85, Al himself is saying he really died, but now he's been a zombie since 1985. That's why the hand comes up and grabs Madonna at the post-credits scene. It was really him coming back from the grave. That's how he's able to appear in the movie as a different character and do all these songs and have this whole career since then. Genius. Really damn hilarious, but absolutely genius. And also, the zombie Amish Paradise design with the hands and the brains instead of flowers and stuff. Give me all of these as shirts. Oh my god, they're so good. Pentiums. It took me a minute to understand what that line was. The Union Scale background singers. That's great. I love self-referential things like that in songs.
No fabrications, no exaggerations, it's the gospel truth.
The gospel truth. When it gets kind of gospel sounding, yeah.
Starting to feel like the song is slightly repetitive.
Again, self-referential humor, like, you know, mentioning the background singers, talking about how repetitive the song itself is. I love that kind of thing. I have a song called "Not the Shortest Song in the World." Not the shortest song. It's not called Not the Shortest Song in the World. It's just called "Not the Shortest Song." Sorry. It's a sequel to the shortest song and the second shortest song. I think I've mentioned this in a video before. And I do go through all sorts of tropes about songs in like a 10-minute and 45-second song, because going through a lot of tropes is a lot. We'll get to more about that in a minute. The pullback on the pattern.
Wow, fake out ending!
Dare to be stupid. I love the fake out ending. I've done a fake out ending myself in Not the Shortest Song, so I'm a big fan of those.
Look at all these people in the credits. We had to pay them all.
We had to pay them all.
Oh, hey, I remember him. Man, I'm on the set. Seems like a really nice guy.
So in the credits, when he gets to that line in the song, it highlights one of the names as it's scrolling by, so he sings that line specifically about that name, which is a great moment. This is another song that kind of like Spy Hard. He wrote for a movie called Spy Hard, ironically, where it's the music video is just the opening credits that he shot, like a James Bond theme, but he's interacting with the credits that are on screen, so he's like smacking his hand against the credits and it flies off the screen or whatnot. So watching the music video of it without the credits in it kind of seems a little odd. He's just making motions and looking at things and giving reactions that are not there, since the music video didn't have the credits in it, so it's kind of a weird thing. Listening to this song is kind of in the same vein to me, because, hey, these are a lot of credits that we're looking at. No, we're not. We're just listening to the song or watching a lyric video. Not the same thing. Oh, well. Just a weird observation is what I'm saying.
All these songs were in the movie you just watched, including this one.
Got to the song section of the credits. And the pull back on the thing again. The clapping. Kind of 80s style.
Double fake out!
2 fake out endings. All the designs.
This song just keeps going on and on and on and on and on. Seriously, how many more credits can there be?
There's a lot of people who work on movies, that's how. There's such a diverse range between the 2 Weird Al songs I've done on this show. Mainly because I'd seen everything Al had done up to the point when I started this show, and I, for whatever reason, didn't react to a lot of the songs that he was doing with other people since his last album. His last album came out in 2014, but he's been doing songs and things in other places. He did like the North Korea polka for the John Oliver show, and he did a couple Songify songs with Shmo Yoho, or the Gregory Brothers, whichever one you want to call them. It's all the same thing. Songify, they did like a couple of election songs, and Al was on a couple of those. And I never reacted to any of those. And the 2 that I've decided to react to have been the song that he didn't write, that he sang for the Lego Star Wars Summer Vacation thing, and this one that is very end credit specific. Whatever, I'm doing what I can. It's not, though. It's not. That's the problem. That's a line in the song that's not true. The song is not eligible for Oscar consideration, unfortunately, because this film has not had, nor will it have, a theatrical run. Some theaters were showing it, but that's been like a one-night-only kind of thing. It was at a film festival, which doesn't count for Oscar consideration, and it was at many of the Alamo Drafthouse places and had a premiere night, but it wasn't like a week-long engagement. In order to be Oscar eligible, the film has to be shown for at least a week at movie theaters, specifically at least in LA. That's how it can have an Oscar consideration. The Roku Channel is not interested in doing that with this film. They are specifically a TV channel. They are specifically a TV network at this point because they're making original content. And they are specifically only interested in television things. This is a TV movie, technically. And because there are commercial breaks in it. So it is specifically a TV movie. They are not trying for any Oscar grabs for this. Golden Globes is kind of possibly eligible for. It's definitely eligible for Emmys. So, you know, there's a big possibility of things like that. I think it did just, however, I think this song specifically won a streaming award for Al, from like, you know, film streaming things or whatever, but this song won an award like literally a couple days ago. So at least there's that. But I don't think that this, I mean, I don't think it, because it's not true. It's not eligible for an Oscar unless it gets a theatrical run for at least a week in LA specifically. Sorry. But man, I want it to be eligible for an Oscar. I want this song to be eligible for an Oscar so he can perform it at the Oscars, and it would be perfect. I would love that. I love the background singers. And that's a super typical, like, Al end of song noise too, because having it end on a bad note, like accidentally hitting a missed chord or whatever, is something that he kind of seems like he does occasionally. This is, you know, the first new Al song that's been recorded, like not performed live and recorded, for something since the Hamilton Polka. Yeah, it's very exciting, very great. They released the soundtrack. He re-recorded a bunch of songs for the soundtrack. He did a re-recording of My Bologna, of Another One Rides the Bus, I Love Rocky Road, another recording of Beat on the Brat. I mentioned it in the full reaction that I did that's available on Patreon, which is a watch-along with the movie, where he's performing the Ramones song Beat on the Brat to audition for a punk band called Scumbarf or something like that. And so I was like, it's another Ramones cover. He's covered that song a bunch of times. He covered it for a Dr. Demento record called Covered in Punk, which is a bunch of comedy artists covering punk songs and punk artists covering comedy songs that have been heard on the Dr. Demento show. So Weird Al covering the Ramones was a big thing. They released a Record Store Day vinyl of Al doing that song and a bunch of things like that. So it's, you know, just another example of Al covering another Ramones song, specifically Beat on the Brat, which he's done a couple times. So, you know, having that in the movie, that's on the soundtrack as well. Not the whole song, just that snippet that he does in the movie. And, you know, the whole score is on there, which is, some pieces are written by Al and some pieces are written by other musicians and such. It's a great soundtrack. It's available on streaming now. This song is, of course, on it. And yard work is happening out there. And also, it'll be on CD and vinyl coming January. So check that out. Link in the description here for this original video without me yammering all over it. Hope you enjoyed this reaction. I certainly did, because I love Al and love this song. And yes, guys, I know you're going to say it in the comments anyway. How did he take a 5-minute song and turn it into a 25 music video? Man, I'm just so excited I can't talk anymore. How did he take a 5-minute song and turn it into a 25-minute reaction video? Because I talk too much, and I ran out of words, and that's why I stumbled there. I'm sorry. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, comment, subscribe, do all the things that get the eyeballs onto these videos to help feed the algorithm. And, of course, if you really want to help the channel out, consider supporting me on Patreon at patreon.com/insanian, where patrons, can't words anymore, get to see these videos early, get to see my music early, exclusive reactions, and all sorts of other cool stuff like that. Anyway, time to go, because clearly words can't words anymore. We'll see you later. Bye.